Welcome to Caffeinated Flicks. I'm Celeste.
And I'm Kenzie. We're two chicks who drink coffee
and celebrate flicks from diverse directors.
If you like what you're hearing so far, take a moment to follow us in your favorite podcasting app.
And give us a rating or review. Here's the show.
Do it. Today on Caffeinated Flicks, we've invited one of my very good friends, Kati Lindholm. Let's see, how long have we known each other? It was 2018.
2018? Yeah.
So probably like 5 years.
Yeah, something
almost.
like that. Yeah.
I went to your wedding.
This is true.
You were supposed to come to mine, but mine was at the height of COVID.
It was height of COVID, and I was like, look, there's a lot of people, y'all. But
yeah,
I was there in spirit.
Understandable.
Yes, you were there in spirit. Totally understandable. Never want to put anybody out for that because they know it was a scary time for everybody.
Scary time. So yeah, we made it through those.
Yes.
Those scary times. And here we are making it through these scary times.
I know.
But
every time is a scary time.
I meant with Blair Witch Project.
Oh,
Scary.
I'm sorry. I missed that part. Oh, I thought you just meant life. And
she's in it, Kenzie. Where are you?
Yeah, she's here for
she's
it.
She's in the zone.
Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit?
Okay, yeah, sure. I'm Kati Lindholm. By day, I work in a lab as a molecular technologist, working with cancer, specifically cutaneous melanoma. So when I'm not being a lab rat, I'm also doing comedy around the valley. It's my little fun side night gig. And then, yeah, pretty much just working out and usually not watching scary movies. Not a big scary movie watcher. So watch this. Fun. Yeah, watch this for the first time. And yeah, that's pretty much it about me.
Yeah. Well, so you're also from Finland, like originally.
Yes. Born in Finland, family from there, dual citizenship when I was 3. I moved to Florida, grew up in Florida, went back to Finland to go to school, and then moved here to actually grow cannabis. Changed jobs, basically lived a few lives, I feel.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I've been all over the place, but I've been in Phoenix for like 7-8 years now. So pretty much home, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you and I met 5 years ago, as we previously mentioned, because we both started doing powerlifting together.
That's true. I think we did our first powerlifting competition together.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, wait. We did Femme Fatale in 2019.
Okay.
But I also did the Lumberjack
Open.
I
did that one. Yeah. I think that was our first one. That was my first one.
Okay. That was my first one too in 2019.
Yeah. I think we were just too nervous to really register.
Probably.
Nerve-wracking. And there was snow on the ground.
Yes.
Yeah. I think we were
because it was in
there.
February. So.
Yeah. That made me more nervous. I was in a Mazda. I don't have snow tires.
See, Richard drove the entire way, so I didn't have to worry about that.
No, I was so scared.
Yeah, I brought my dad. Shout out to my dad. He goes to all of them. I think we took photos at Femme Fatale together too. Like you met my dad and my mom and my uncle.
Okay.
So I know it was a lot of people.
This sounds about right. Yeah. Yep.
But
whole crew.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Femme Fatale is generally an all women's powerlifting competition. So that was a lot of fun and very different.
Yeah, it was very it was girl power, post Spice Girls.
Post Spice Girls. I was going to say
Barbie movie. So it was very nice. I liked it.
Yeah, it's like post Josie and the Pussycats, like post Spice Girls.
It was a good feeling. I liked it. Yeah.
It was a good time. But yeah, so ever since then, we've moved away from our powerlifting gym specifically and just stayed friends, which I'm super grateful for because we both have a whole host of neuroses. So we connect on those a lot.
This is true. Yeah, that led me to powerlifting and comedy,
So tell us more about your comedy journey.
Comedy journey, basically something I always wanted to do, but back to the neuroses, a lot of anxiety, introverted, stage fright. So I was like, I'll never do that. COVID happened. I got sick, watched a lot of stand up, and I was like, I might as well just give this a shot. Did it. I've been doing it. You're never really free until you're fully cringe on stage. So it's a very freeing thing, even when you bomb. But yeah, no, just having fun with it, trying to see how far it can take me. been to LA for a competition, done a couple shows, been to House of Comedy and stuff. So
Now getting paid a little bit.
I got paid $15. So my first paid gig.
It's like $1 million in comedy.
Yeah. I mean, it's like $1 a minute. So if I had a 60-minute special, that would be 60. So that's a lot.
It's like $60 an hour.
Yeah.
What could go
That's
wrong?
my logic. So I think I'm winning.
Yes, I think you are too. And I've been to several of your shows now, and I think you're hilarious. And I love the fact that we've had a couple of writing workshops together and stuff like that, or at least one.
We did. We had a caffeinated workshop for sure. Where I was like, my heart hurts a little bit. I need water.
You decided to drink more coffee before you even got there.
I did drink a espresso cold brew before I got here.
Oh my
and I'm
God.
drinking a latte. Yeah, her face. Oh my God.
Does that?
Well, to be
Recoil.
fair, Celeste has recently gone off caffeine for the most part.
Okay.
And so she's like, she has mixed feelings.
Is that caffeine free you're drinking?
No.
Nope. Okay.
It's chai with espresso.
Celeste has gone caffeine free as Celeste is
Except for when
drinking
we-
a
As I'm
latte.
drinking caffeine.
Except for when we record, apparently.
Yeah, I save
That's
it for
fine,
special occasions, but I've definitely noticed like a difference in how it makes me feel. I get super jittery, and I'm like, like I'm bouncing off the walls over here. I'm trying to like,
much,
keep
yeah.
myself-
She was so funny.
Sorry.
She told me, like, while we were recording for one of our previous episodes, she's like, oh, yeah, I've been without caffeine for like 2 weeks now. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, I know. I feel better and I hate it.
Yep, pretty much.
So stupid good. But yes, do you have any like upcoming shows or anything like that, or appearances that you'll be making at the end of the month that you want to promote or get out there?
Yeah, y'all caught me at like I just did like 2 shows in one weekend, but
I
yeah,
know.
not much planned at least for this month. You can always follow me on Instagram at Squatty Kati, SQUATYKATI. A little humble plug there. I'll post any like upcoming last minute shows and stuff on there. Yeah, no spooky shows. That would be cool.
Oh, that would be cool. Maybe that's what you should do for the rest of October is just come up with some spooky jokes. And we can help you with that.
Okay.
What's a spooky joke?
Who knows?
What's a
Like a
spooky
dad,
show?
like a dad joke that's like Halloween themed.
Oh
I think
yeah,
that's
that would be fun.
know,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
something like that.
Or like our other friend of the pod, Leah Bonema, she's got this really great joke in her 10-minute stand-up special where she talks about getting a paranormal romance and how the protagonist in this paranormal romance ends up fucking a ghost. So feel like that
Oh
could be
my.
a spooky joke.
Yep, technically.
It's hilarious. This is a shameless plug for Leah Bonema. By all means, look her up on YouTube.
Mhm.
LeahBonema. Leah Bonema. Fantastic. Super hilarious. She's based in LA. So check her out. And
Yeah.
also check out Kati. Like, I think she's great.
Yeah, I don't know if there's which one's worst, fucking a ghost or just getting ghosted by every dude you fuck. So I mean, you might as well just. I would rather do the ghost, honestly, because at least there's a commitment.
Right.
I'm sure he shows
They
up.
can't leave your
Same-
house.
Yeah,
Like,
same time, like the witching hour between
you can always expect
4:30.
3. Yeah.
They're
3
always
o'clock,
going to
you're getting
show
a
up.
booty call. So
Yeah, so at least they're consistent.
at 3 o'clock, you're getting a booty call.
A spiritual booty call. Oh
And they're
my.
reliable. They always know what's happening in your life.
They're transparent.
Are they reliable? Because technically, can't they ghost?
Yeah, they never
you?
show up. They're like, when you have the camera crew and the Ghostbusters, they never show up then.
Yeah, but when you're by yourself, that's when you need the most.
Okay.
And then they show up.
Okay. Like Richard Gere, Pretty Woman.
Yes,
They
very much.
pick you up at the factory. Okay.
Out on the street. Oh, gosh. So we are clearly very caffeinated, as we've been alluding to. So
We're caffeinated
We-
up. We've been eating the pastries. We're all sugared up.
Oh, yeah.
So do you want to go ahead and tell us, Celeste, what coffee we're drinking today?
Oh yeah, today we are eating. Today we're drinking.
We did
coffee
eat from there, too. So
True. Technically, we ate and drank from Brew. I believe it's a local place. Or Kinsey, you said there was a couple places that they've opened up. So I don't know if it's just local to Arizona. But yeah, I already forgot what I got.
A banana Foster's chai
Banana
with a shot of
Foster's
espresso,
chai.
apparently.
Oh my
which I
God,
get.
that sounds amazing.
Yes.
I didn't know that was
interesting.
possible.
Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't know what to expect. As I'm drinking it, I still don't know how I feel about it. But I'm drinking it. It's good. It's a good feeling, but mixed emotions.
And Chagachino, which is something that you can find here in the Valley at a bunch of different local coffee shops, and especially in downtown Phoenix. It's basically a mushroom coffee like mix. And so they put that into whatever espresso and milk and stuff like that, and they shake it all about. And it's just supposed to have like all those adaptogens. I'm addicted to the adaptogens. Don't get me wrong. But how about you, Kati?
I think Celeste picked this up, and I think I'm pretty low maintenance and a 90s kid. I was like, just give me a regular iced latte with milk, and stevia was cool. They don't always have stevia, so they get bonus points for having the stevia and the packets that you can just grab.
Right.
But yeah, pretty good. They got the crushed ice. I know it's a little thing, but it's a sensory texture thing. I like that. But 10 out of 10, I mean, oh shit, I don't want
That's
to rate
okay.
it too
You can
soon.
rate-
See,
you
I'm
can
so
rate the coffee.
caffeinated.
Yeah,
I'm
rate your
jumping.
coffee. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
10
never
out of
do.
10.
Usually rate the coffee, so you
Yeah.
don't have to rate it however.
10 out of 10, considering it's my second one and I've only been up for like 2 hours. So I'm not, too jazzed up, and I like that. Just jazzed enough.
The right
on the
amount
edge
of jazz.
Yeah, it's just,
You're getting out the hands, but you're not quite waving
no,
them yet.
no, only one jazz hand.
And just
10
one
out of 10, one jazz hand. There
Yep.
we go.
Oh my gosh. So in addition to the things that we are eating and drinking today, my mom decided that she did not care for these. So she gave me these, much like she does everything else. So we have Cracker Barrel dark chocolate pumpkin spice sticks. So I figured because we were in the pumpkin spice season of it all, we should embark on these and give like a live review. So Celeste, why don't you go first?
Oh, God. Oh,
Yeah, I'll take one.
I thought it was going to be like a wafer.
Mm-hmm.
Not my cup of tea. Just right off the bat. It's a texture thing. It's like a gelatin chocolate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did recently find out that you're a texture person, so that
Yep.
makes sense.
So, yeah, not for me. How are you guys liking it?
I think Kati said she liked it.
This reminds me of Finnish candy
Oh.
because there's like a marmalade in it
Mhm.
almost.
Mm.
But that doesn't mean it's good because
It's nostalgic more like for you.
maybe, perhaps. Because Finnish people also like eat black licorice heavy.
Oh, I love black licorice.
But like we have
What?
black licorice ice cream.
Oh, that's amazing.
Okay.
Oh my.
So
I
I'm
like
a-
it.
I'm a weirdo, okay? And we all know this. Like, I have
Oh.
absinthe downstairs. So
Okay.
if you ever want some absinthe, like,
Okay, I'll take some.
give
Maybe
it a
not
shot.
at
Like-
9:45.
Why not? It's 5 o'clock someplace, right?
Perhaps.
You got to get through the anxiety of your car.
My oil
Hair.
change, yeah, it's like going 80. It's a little shaky, and I didn't know if it was shaky
Oh,
or
no.
I was shaky
Because of the coffee.
because of the coffee. So I would have to stop and do a
Oh my gosh.
Jesus take the wheel. And then I was like, it's still shaking. So,
Oh my God.
You're like, so it's not me.
so it's not
fine.
me. Yeah. So I'll take the shot before I go drive to my oil change.
I love it. I actually had a Sazerac yesterday. And if you've ever had a Sazerac, it's basically a whiskey beverage. That's the glass itself is like kissed with absinthe. So they take the absinthe, they pour it in the glass, they swirl it around, and then they dump the absinthe out. So it's just like a kiss of absinthe in your whiskey with some bitters.
What is the reasoning for the kiss of absinthe? Like just a little like residue?
little
Yeah,
essence.
it's like a little bit of residue. It adds just like a hint of that like licorice
Okay.
anise flavor,
Okay.
but it's just to add a whisper.
Just a little ASMR whiskey.
Okay.
Reminds me of Family Guy. Whipped cream.
Whipped cream.
Quill Wheaton.
But yeah, like you said, these are, I think of them like a jelly kind of center with like dark chocolate wrapped around it. Like I love Turkish delights. I don't know if y'all have ever had Turkish delights.
It sounds familiar.
Okay. I love Turkish Delights. They're so good. They're also like a jelly candy, but they're like got powdered sugar all over it. And they're usually filled with like nuts and different types of fruits and stuff like that. But it's a similar type of jelly where it's not stupid hard, but it's super flavorful. I'm not sure how I feel about pumpkin spice in my chocolate, honestly. But
what, Kenzie? There's something you don't like pumpkin spice in?
I also don't like pumpkin spice really in my coffee. So I like pumpkin spice as its own flavor, especially in like baked goods. And I love it as like a seasoning and stuff like that. But I don't, and it has to have like real pumpkin is the other part of it. So much pumpkin spice isn't actually pumpkin. It's just spices.
It's just the spices.
So like much like I don't like Mexican mochas as we've discussed. Like there's something about like
I love it.
I know.
All the spice.
I know.
Yeah. I love it on my candy. I love it.
I don't like it with my chocolate. I also don't like mint in chocolate. So maybe I'm not somebody who likes like chocolate with things. I like chocolate to be pure other than with like toffee or caramel or cherries or dried fruit.
Those are all the worst combinations.
I know.
You just described, what is that, fruitcake?
Yes.
With
I
cherries
love fruitcake.
and
Okay. I love
fruitcake.
fruitcake.
Do you like those chocolate covered raisins?
Or the maraschino cherries?
But I do like the cherries. Yes.
No, they're just like
yep. I stand by the fact that I'm a weirdo and I know it. Like y'all can tell me all day long, every day, but I already know. Like
she owns it. You own it.
Kati's just
and I know who to give my fruitcake to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah,
I make my own fruitcake. It's delicious. But yeah, so Celeste, should we get into the movie itself and our history?
Yeah. The movie, yep. So today's movie is going to be the Blair Witch Project. I don't recall if I think the first time I saw this, I was a full-grown adult, and I would say it scared me for sure. But again, I never watched the ending, so it didn't have like a lasting effect on me. Even for this movie, I still didn't watch the ending. I had to Google what happened. That is how I wrote my notes.
It's so helpful when you're a professional doing a podcast about it and taking the notes for it, and you don't watch the whole ending.
To be fair, it's like 2 or 3 minutes, the ending.
Right.
I was like, that's fine.
True story.
I'm good. So
yeah. But you had said, so you just recently got back from camping and you had originally planned to watch it while you were camping with your family.
That's an awful idea.
Apparently this is something her uncles love to do.
Yeah.
Is it around Halloween time too that they like to do it?
Yeah, because typically we go camping in like around September when it's not too cold up north, but also still not too hot. But yeah, typically he would bring the Blair Witch Project every year, and every year we'd watch it at night. What the heck was wrong with us? I don't know, but we did it. But this is the first year I went with them that they didn't bring it. So it was probably for the best.
You had to tell me, you were like, we need to push because I need to watch this. We did not get the chance to watch it while we were camping.
Yep. So.
All right. Your turn.
Pretty much. Wait, what?
Sorry. What's your history with the movie?
With the movie?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I was still stuck on, because first of all, I don't even like camping. So
like,
I'm not going to go camping
with this picture.
Yeah, I'm not going to even go camping if you have like the extended cut of Barbie. Like, no. Let alone if you're going to make me watch the Blair Witch. Like, I'm still stuck on that. But
she's just stunned.
Yeah. Anywho, yeah. So this movie came out when I was 9, and I remember around that time it was like you didn't really know if it was real or not, if these people were real and missing. So I to this day don't even really like scary movies. So as a 9-year-old, I definitely was not watching this at all. I was super creeped out. So I watched it last night for the first time, and actually doing some Googling and stuff. Both directors actually went to my college, University of Central Florida. Go Knights!
What? Oh my
yeah,
gosh!
so
How cool.
The only other people that went to UCF were like Daniel Tosh.
Oh,
and
is that comedian guy?
Mm-hmm,
yeah,
mm-hmm. And like
yeah.
I think
cringy. Yeah,
Daniel Tosh and like Jamie Kennedy from My Name is Earl. That lady.
Gosh, yeah.
So I was like, literally, both of them are from the film school of UCF. So that was cool to see. But yeah, so it took, 24 years of it being out for me to finally see it.
Yeah. Yeah. This
the way
movie
it goes
is 24
sometimes.
years old. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I had somewhat of an opposite growing up, like I loved scary movies all the way up until I was 9 because my mom had married this dude for a very short amount of time and he showed us The Exorcist. So I did not sleep without a nightlight.
I thought I was a bad babysitter. Damn, at least I know not to do that.
Right, exactly.
He locked us in a hot car.
Oh, man.
Jeez. Okay.
Yep. So I watched like as many scary movies as I could have until the point where I was like 9. And then he was like, do you want to watch The Exorcist? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then that scarred me for life, even to this day. So I've just recently started getting back into watching scary movies as of the last couple of years. And a lot of that has to do with one of my other favorite podcasts, Ruined. Shout out to Haley and Ellison. So Hallie and Ellison. But they're phenomenal. If you haven't gotten the chance to, it's a great movie podcast. They only review horror movies. Hallie loves horror movies. Allison hates horror movies, but wants to know what happens. So
They're the perfect duo.
Exactly. So check them out. They're super cool. I'm hoping that one day they'll hear us out and come and join us.
Just shout them out every time.
Yes.
Every single time.
Statistically, they're gonna eventually.
The entire month of October. Shout out to them.
If we tag them enough times, maybe they will hear us. So that's how that goes. But I had never seen this movie before. Everybody knows of this movie.
Yeah.
And so I just didn't really feel like the express need to watch this movie a whole lot. But watching this movie last night and yesterday, I had a very different reaction than both of you, as it turns out. So we will get into it.
Okay. Alrighty then. Shall we get into the directors then?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So there's 2 directors for this movie. We've got Eduardo Sanchez and then Daniel Merrick. So Eduardo was born in Havana, Cuba, December 20th of 1968. So he's a Sagittarius. Kenzie felt the need to mention this.
Yes.
They're astrology signs.
Sagittarius. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I figured for those astrological girlies out there, you gotta include it.
It is retrograde
Yes.
now, I think. So
Yeah, we had our super moon like yesterday or something like that. And we'll have our our lunar eclipse on the 14th of October in the case that you've already missed it, because this comes out way after that. So it is astrological season.
Awesome. Keep it current.
Oh my. So at a young age, he gained an interest in filmmaking. In high school, he made movie projects, all of which he starred his friends and family, as well as Eduardo himself. He's also known for directing VHS 2 and Exists. Both of those are also horror movies.
So VHS is a sequel to VHS, which is an anthology horror movie. So it's got short clips of different horror movie scenarios, and they go in and they put in different like VHSs, quote unquote, that show these shorter horror movies.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so
I've heard
really
of VHS, but I never watched it.
Yeah, it's real good.
Okay. So he's also directed TV episodes. He's directed multiple episodes on Queen of the South and Supernatural. He's also done Charmed. He did an episode on there. I know. I was like,
the OG or the new?
OG Charmed. OG.
Oh, I love it.
I know. And then, as you mentioned, Kati, both he and Daniel graduated from the University of Central Florida of School of Film in 1994.
That's too funny. I wonder if they chose
so cool
1994 in the movie because they graduated in 1994.
What?
So at the very beginning of the movie, I'm getting a
Are
little
you
hint.
confused too, Kati? Because we're both like...
So at the very beginning of the movie, they've got text on screen, and it says, in 1994, 3 film students went out into the woods in Maryland to go and study the Blair Witch.
Yeah.
A year later, this film was found. So I'm wondering if them graduating in 1994 as film students was like the antithesis or like the starting point for the Blair Witch Project.
Oh, that makes sense. And I do see where I actually put in the notes.
You're like, I've seen this so many times.
Yeah.
It's just, I can only do what I can.
It's been stressful watching all these horror movies. Okay.
I'm so excited.
Blame her. Yeah, she's
Right?
gonna quit after this.
I know, right? I'm like,
Quit. It's
need a
okay.
break.
We're finishing up the year with the holiday. She's looking
Yes.
forward to it. Like, so excited.
You need to watch like Super Pets 2 or something
Yeah.
to cleanse your palate after all this.
Right?
We're gonna do a League of Their Own soon. Like, we got some really good movies coming up.
Yes, we need some upbeat movies.
Mhm.
So they received an Alma Award nomination for Outstanding Director of a Feature Film. They've also received several other nominations for The Blair Witch. And then, as you stated before, Kenzie, there is a sequel, The Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2. They didn't direct, but they were both writers for it. Was not nearly as acclaimed as the Blair Witch Project. They actually received multiple Razzie Award nominations, and they actually won an award for Worst Remake or Sequel. So
That's
poor
amazing.
guys. I know.
I love that so much.
It feels like we're in the Blair Witch.
I know. We're already in it. We're in it.
I
We're
see
in
the
now.
pile of rocks outside.
So
the
Right?
level
We're
of
out.
sticks. Yeah.
We're bouncing,
Let's see.
Kenzie.
What did she say about a pile of rocks? I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
There's
We're gonna start
one
seeing
and
totems
two.
everywhere. Oh, technically, you have like these wooden sticks in this room, Kenzie.
I know. I do have this one. In
Run! What are you doing?
I know. Why am I still here?
You're lucky it's daylight.
I know.
It's like,
Alrighty, so when we get into the cast, so they basically just play themselves. We've got our three main characters, Heather O'Donoghue, Michael C. Williams, and Joshua Leonard. There's some townsmen's-people that, again, play themselves. There is Patricia DeCow, who does play Miss Mary Brown.
she's probably the scariest person in this movie. Just saying.
She is. Like, she could have played the witch.
That's why I was like, wait, is this a
Is there gonna be a
She
twist?
really
Yeah.
is the witch? Because I would believe that immediately.
Yeah, she's got that witchy look.
Certain chin. You gotta have a certain chin to have that witch appearance.
Yep.
She's got it.
She's got that chiseled chin, sharpness. Alrighty, so do you guys want to go ahead and get into the ratings?
Okay. 10 out of 10, one and only. Considering that there are almost no horrors that I didn't watch, The Blair Witch remains the favorite, timeless, and respected film ever. The minimalist style with tiny 60K budget, but enormous talent makes it a wonderful movie for me. The creators masterfully play on basic human fears, the unknown, getting lost, darkness, and the creepy night forest. Without any special effects, gore, and jump scares, it still remains one of the scariest horror movies ever made. Absolutely love it. 10 out of 10.
Don't worry, we'll get to your rating at the end.
I have very strong opinions. I'm sorry.
Yes.
All right, Celeste, you want to go with a 1 out of 10?
Oh, I thought you were gonna do it. You can do it. Yeah. I
Okay.
want to.
So, 1 out of 10. The witch has no clothes. This one is like the fable about the emperor and his new clothes. He didn't have any, and the Blair Witch doesn't have any. This thing was awful. I wanted to like it. I expected to like it. I tried to like it. I came away hating it. I saw this thing 3 times.
What?
And while it's got a great idea and it's not terrible for a film student, say, far too long and boring for the one trick it's got to pull, I simply am at a loss as to how so many people can allegedly love this thing. Which as a person who loves very short movies, this movie was an hour and 15 minutes at most. So this movie was not long.
It was a short movie, and then also you cannot watch a movie 3 times and convince me that you hate it.
Right?
It's like going
Make it
back to
make
the
sense.
same dude 3 times, and you're like, I hate him. It's over. It's like, well, why are you still with him for the 3rd time? Why are you watching it for the 3rd time?
Why do you keep going back?
It's like those customers. They're like, you always mess up my order. Bitch, stop coming back. Do you remember those, Kenzie, at Starbucks?
Yes, very much so.
Oh my goodness. Lovely. Alrighty, shall we get into the notes?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. So as you stated before, Kenzie, it opens with text on screen. October 1994, 3 student filmmakers disappeared in the woods near Burkittsville, Maryland, while shooting a documentary. A year later, their footage was found. So if you haven't seen this movie, the filming style is called found footage filming technique. So it's shots that are presented as if they were recordings that have been discovered and relayed to the audience. So that filming technique origin dates back to the 1960s to a movie called The Connection. But the success of Blair Witch Project was still definitely a pivotal moment for the found footage filming technique, influencing movies such as Cloverfield and the Paranormal Activity franchise. Do you guys remember those movies? There's like six or seven of them. The many.
I think I've only ever seen the first one of both, the Cloverfield and the Paranormal Activity, but I love both of the first ones. I just haven't, for whatever reason, watched anything beyond that.
They're terrifying.
I mean, yeah, I've only watched the first Paranormal Activity in theaters. I think it was on a date, which is
in theaters.
Yeah, which is the only reason I went, because it's like, oh, it's a guy, whatever, I'll go. But
the things we do for guys,
right? It's a gambit.
Stupid.
Yeah. But yeah, it's super scary. I don't think I slept that night. But no, for that reason, haven't seen the others.
Yeah, terrifying movies. So we start off with a guy recording our main character, Heather. She's saying that she's going to be leaving the comfort of her home in order to explore the Blair Witch. Her and two guys, Mike and Josh, are packing up their car to go and record a documentary on the Blair Witch. So we've got some footage of them driving and grocery shopping.
Celeste.
Oh, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when you and I went and did the Houston Brothers Trail on the Mogollon Rim?
Yes.
We did our 20-mile hike into the forest.
Yep.
I had so many flashbacks to that during this.
You guys hiked 20 miles into the... What the fuck is wrong with you? Why?
I don't know why.
Yeah, we did it. Jesus Christ. It was fun, but
I'm scared thinking about it.
The grocery shopping scenes reminded me of going to like Big Lots and like Dollar General and just being like, okay, I can eat this, I can eat this, I can eat this. This is relatively light. Definitely need some marshmallows. Like,
oh my! But remember, we found like a little wooden structure that was made into like a little hut.
The creepiest wooden.
It was so freaking, and it was pouring. Remember? And even then, we were like, "We're not going in it." It was raining.
Did you guys want to go in it? Would you?
I think we looked in it.
I think we looked in it, but we did not go in.
Yeah. We did not go in it.
But did one of you creepy. Like want to go in it? And
no.
No, neither of us did.
We did get lost several times, but we were a little bit smarter than to go into this weird wooden structure, which had a stone chimney like 30 feet away from it.
It was I think they were burning bodies. I think that was like a cremation.
Mm-hmm. I will be very truthful and honest here. I did not sleep that night.
No, because
I know
again, it was raining and there was a hole in the tent and it was dripping on you. So that may have been one of the reasons you didn't sleep.
She's like, I wasn't scared. I was just uncomfortable from the rain.
It's that and the fact that this tent was Celeste's size and Celeste is like half a foot shorter than I am.
Yeah,
and
size.
I couldn't like move.
We were supposed to spend 2 nights out there, remember?
Yes.
But then we were like, we are not doing this again. And we just... we booked it. We were out of there.
We booked it out of there. The worst part, I think, was like, we would occasionally come into like other hikers, but it were just like a bunch of dudes.
It was just a bunch of guys.
Like, there's nothing scarier than being females alone by yourself when there are dudes you don't know around.
Yeah, it's like and then like a lady comes up with like a bloody axe, and you're like, oh, she's just
fine.
hunting. She's fine. Like, yeah,
she's just plotting her revenge.
Like, I'll go with the lady.
I'll help her.
I'll go with the lady with the bloody axe versus
then a group of dudes,
2 blonde dudes. Like, no,
yep,
something's not right here.
Oh my god. So I think they conduct their first interview of a young townswoman. They ask her if she knows anything about the Blair Witch. She's like, yeah, it sounds familiar. My sister went to something Blair High School. And that was it. That was the only connection she... I was like, okay.
This part was so weird. I was watching this with Philip at home, and he's like, yeah, so they're all like, yeah, like fucking 50 years ago, this dude killed all these people. Like, yeah, everyone knows. Well, like, I knew within 30 miles of my house that there was like some mystical man that killed all these kids, and you're like, yeah, he's still there, whatever. Like, I would not be so casual about it. So I was more like surprised how casual the ones that did believe it. Like, even the one dude fishing, he was like, hell yeah, this happens. Like, it is what it is. And like, just still fishing. Like, I don't know. That kind of blew my mind.
It reminds me of people who live, like, we live in a big city. There's more than likely there has been a serial killer in Phoenix. And like, people who live in like California, and you've got all the different serial killers in California. You've got Ted Bundy, who got caught in Florida. Like, people talk about them just like almost affectionately. And so it happened like 50 years ago, which is ironic to today because Ted Bundy was like in the 1970s and it's 2020s, but they're still talking about it like that. They're like, oh yeah, this is where Ted Bundy did this, and this is where Ted Bundy did that.
Yeah, and some people will even like go out of their way for that dark tourism to go like find it and stuff. But then in this point, I think I'm still confused in this movie. So there is the Blair Witch, and then there's when they were explaining all this, then they like go back and forth between like, oh, then there was the dude in the 40s. Right. So it's like, I never really know if they're like connected or not. Yeah. And I'm just like confused.
I was a bit confused by the interviews too. I was like, where are we going with this?
Yeah. But did the Blair Witch have an impact on the dude to make him kill these people? Or was it him doing it by himself? I think that's like like, did she possess him or something? Yeah.
They're her puppets.
Right. Sacrificing to the gods.
Yeah, because if she can't even walk on if she can't even walk on the ground, like, how's she gonna pick up all those rocks?
Yeah, and it comes back to that ghost lovers being more reliable.
Back again. Here we go. This spooky season, find yourself a new boo.
You won't find him on the apps.
Only in your walls. Then he'll be in your walls.
And that's another callback to American Horror Story too, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
The dude was dead and he was hitting on the teenage daughter or something like that.
Well, honestly, I was thinking more, if you guys, this is complete sidebar, ever watched Anna Nicole Smith's show back in the early 2000s? She also did a documentary where she claims to have had sex with a ghost.
Okay, yes, I've heard of this, yeah.
But she may or not have been on like prescription drugs and stuff like that at the time. But she has a very convincing argument for having sex with a ghost, and I think it might have been more than once. So that's honestly where I've been going with this. And now when I go home, I'm gonna go Google the interview, and I need to go listen to it in its entirety.
Yeah, if you want to share it with Celeste, she'll share it on our socials.
Yeah, my mind went to, when you guys started talking about sex with ghosts, was to Grey's Anatomy. Like, I think in the first season, that one chick has, like, sex with her dead husband's ghost.
What? I've never watched Grey's Anatomy. You can't ask me these things.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Now I need to start watching Grey's Anatomy. Damn.
Oh, goodness. Alrighty, so back to the movie. So Heather's saying that she wants to avoid being cheesy for the documentary, and she wants to be straightforward.
Which is hilarious because she's only cheesy in this whole movie. Which we will get to, but I will let you continue on.
So they've got their first shot. It's in black and white, and they all kiss the first slate for good luck. So first shot of documentary, Heather is introducing the small town of Burkittsville, formerly known as Blair.
Is this where she's in the cemetery?
I believe so, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yes, yeah. So she's standing here. So this is an example of her being very cheesy. Like, she's got this very, like, sort of...
unsolved mystery.
Yes, unsolved mystery, like, tone,
yeah. Yeah, or like Ripley's Believe It or Not, like the guy who hosted Ripley's Believe It or Not, just like standing there all solemn, like, you may not believe, but sometime back in the 1940s, all of these children went missing.
Yep, very much so like that. So in that tone, she says that an unusually high number of children laid to rest, most who passed in the 1940s. So they got that first shot. They start conducting interviews with the townspeople. So we've got a random dude who says his grandma told them about the Blair Witch to get them to bed. Old man says in the 1940s, kids were disappearing and nobody knew why. We've got that woman carrying the child, said 2 hunters camping near the witch's cabin. They disappeared off the face of the earth. I think my favorite interview conducted, though, is with when she asks an older guy, you believe in witchcraft? He's like, nope. She's like, you a religious guy? He's like, yes. She's like, alrighty.
Right. I love that. I love that so much. Because you know that they had to believe in witchcraft. Otherwise, the Salem witch trials would have never happened.
You
like to
can't
believe
Yeah, you don't see anyone
yeah.
burning Bigfoot because, like,
Right.
oh wait, like no one's believing in that. Like, you gotta believe in it to hate it. So that scene makes no sense.
Right. But it's so funny, especially like when you consider all of the supernatural properties of religion. It's wild.
So they locate the crazy town lady, Mary Brown, to interview her. She claims that she had an encounter with the Blair Witch itself or herself. She says it was a woman in a shawl covered in hair from head to toe.
And then she also says like she opened up the shawl and her body was covered in hair. And it's like, okay, is she the Bigfoot, the missing link? Like,
You know what I know? Okay, this came to me. She said she had horse fur.
yeah.
So
horse fur,
she's not a missing link. She's
Is she a
literally
centaur?
the first crazy horse girl.
Oh,
This is the mother of all horse girls. Is the Blair Witch, and they all the crazy horse girls, especially the ones from Finland doing the thing. Everyone's seen it, jumping with the hobby horse thing.
Yeah.
Not a real horse.
yes.
All
I saw that.
descendants of the OG horse girl.
Wait, and you were an equestrian, right?
I was, so I can say this. I'm a former horse girl. I can say this. So if I get horse girl hate, we're
Don't
going to
come
talk
at
about horses in the DMs. I'm going to prove my horsiness.
You went to competitions and shit.
I did. Yeah, I did it for like 10 years in competitions and stuff like that. Yeah, super expensive sport. So I was like, I don't have this money. But it was a lot of fun. But yeah, so I was just picturing the horse fur. I was like, why horse fur?
Right. Is it just because it was available to keep warm?
Yeah. And then when
cold
she
out
kept
in
saying
those
the
words.
horse, yeah, like the horse genitalia, just
Missed
like
that part.
Did
all
she?
the way.
I did
Well, no,
not.
I was going. There was not that part, but I was thinking about it.
We're like, what?
Like, is she a centaur?
happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like back to Hercules, like centaurs.
Well, apparently she did nothing to her. She just hovered over her.
That's
And flashed her. She opened her
She
shawl.
flashed.
That's still like that's
You
a
know,
misdemeanor at
That's
least.
the first sexual assault.
Yeah, and it was by a horse girl. So
See, women can do bad shit too. Like,
we can be the first.
and not the only.
Oh my. So they're at their hotel, drinking to being done with day one. The next day, they're driving to a trail, supposedly, and run into 2 men that they end up interviewing. So there's an old man, and then there's like a younger man that are fishing together. The old man says, everyone knows that the area is haunted. The other guy's like, you're full of shit. Is this the one?
This one makes me laugh because it's like they're both saying the same thing, but they're both disagreeing about it.
Yeah.
That's a pretty accurate statement. Yeah. They just they're like an old married couple, even
Yeah.
though
Yep.
it's like a grandpa and a son, nephew, whatever.
Yeah.
But they're actually
something
like a
like
married
that.
couple.
They
Yeah.
really are. I think the old man at one point says, he's like, oh, right down there, right down the stream, I saw like a hovering, ghostly like figure. And the guy's like, you were probably drinking. He's like,
I'm not drinking.
I wasn't drinking that day.
Not that day. That day I was sober. Everything else leading up to it, drunk as a skunk. But that day I was sober. I was hungover, but I was sober.
So they carry on and they park on the side of a road and head off into the woods. Not on a trail, by the way. They just head in to an uncharted area, it looks like, with their packs. They head off to Coffin Rock and shoot another shot. Heather is giving a brief history of the place.
I love that she has like a book. It's
Yeah.
like one of the books that she shows at the very beginning, and she's reading from it. She's all like Tales from the Crypt, like sitting there in front of something, just like, and then this happened.
Yeah. Very much. So she says 5 men were found, tortured, and murdered, each of them bound to each other, and their intestines had been torn out. A sheriff was brought to where the bodies were found, only to find that they were removed by persons unknown.
I also love the language used in this. Persons unknown.
Once again, unsolved mysteries vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really does.
All right, so this is... How long ago was Unsolved Mysteries made? Let's see.
That was like 80s, 90s for sure. Yeah.
Is that
Have
old?
more. Yeah.
I think they brought it back with new episodes, but I think you can also see all the old ones on like Netflix or one of these streaming services.
The ones on Netflix are new,
Okay.
but Unsolved Mysteries started in 1987. So we had like, I'm doing math in my head and it's not working out, 7 years before this supposedly took place in 1994. So definitely had quite a bit of influence.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Oh, yeah.
They found a spot to camp and set up tent. So the next morning, Josh says that he heard noises that sound like crackling. They trek on, and Heather admits that she got them lost for a brief moment because, again, they are not on a trail.
They're off trail hiking is what she calls it.
Oh my gosh.
And I was watching this and I was like, you're putting back feminism so far. I was like, you're the protagonist. You're the female director, just director because you're the only one here.
Yeah.
And you're the most like male in the sense like, no, I don't need directions. I know where I'm going.
I don't think it's putting feminism back. I think it's actually bringing it forward to show that women can be as mediocre as men can be and still fail up.
That's true. That's
Women
true.
can get
You just
men
gotta have the
lost, too.
confidence.
Yeah.
It's all about confidence. Be
Jake
as
clearly
wrong
the
as you
confidence,
can
yeah.
be. Just be confident.
Yeah. She's dedicated to her craft. She's like,
Yeah,
no, we're
she
going to
was.
go ahead and get it.
Only 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more hours and
Yeah.
we'll be there.
Yeah,
there.
she keeps adding hours.
I mean-
2 more hours, guys. 3 more hours.
If you think about the way, who's the gentleman who directed The Shining?
M. Night Shyamalan.
Not The Shining. That's
Oh
not The
shit!
Shining.
Sorry.
You're fine.
What? See, I don't follow horror movies.
But you said
I
it
just, maybe I just
confidently.
wanted to.
M. Night.
Yeah, maybe I. There you go. Maybe
you
I just
go.
wanted to say M. Night Shyamalan.
it is a
we
fun
love
name
M.
to
Night.
say. Yeah.
We're big M. Night apologists, and we're not sorry about it. Stanley Kubrick.
There we go.
Stanley Kubrick was known to be a terror of a director, and so if he can do that, Heather can do it. It's totally fine.
Alrighty. So again, the 3 of them continue trekking on a trail. That's not a trail. And they are on their way to a cemetery. That's what I was confused about too. We'll get to it in the future, I guess.
Yeah. What? Yeah. So this cemetery is different from the first cemetery that they
Yeah.
went to in the open. Like one cemetery scene wasn't enough. You need to go hike
They
into the
needed
woods
shots.
for the other cemetery.
Yeah, it was confusing. So at this point, the boys are getting agitated, understandably enough, because they appear to be lost, but Heather tries convincing them that they are not. She's like, 2 more hours, guys. The cemetery is going to be so worth it. And then they struggle to get across a stream. And we will learn in the future that this happens multiple times.
Bad
we
idea.
right, especially with all that equipment.
Not worth it. No.
No, it's too risky for the biscuit. So they come up on an area that has multiple piles of rocks. And this was the cemetery? Was this the
it?
cemetery? I think it was.
I was like the protagonist too, because I was like, fuck, what did that lady say about the rocks?
Right,
And
and
me and
that's what
her are
she's-
both like, what did that lady say?
Yep. So she says something. Mary Brown said something about piled rocks. That's it. So I guess this is the cemetery because they're taking multiple shots of it.
Mhm.
And I think they count like maybe 7 or 8 piles.
And
What
what
was
did the
that?
old lady say about the rocks? Because I
So-
also was not paying attention.
There are 7 rock piles, and
Uh-huh.
each one of them supposed to represent one of the 7 children who the dude was supposedly murdered.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So they intentionally were looking for that then?
No, they were looking for the cemetery, but they came
Uh-huh.
across these 7 rock piles.
Oh, yeah. Remember they were like, oh, it's like an Indian burial ground or something. That's what they
Oh,
thought it was or something.
So then they just
always
gave
an
up on the
Indian burial.
cemetery?
Yeah, it's
We're
always
like,
it's an ancient Indian burial
Yeah.
ground.
oh my. So I guess they found that then by mistake and were like, this is good footage.
Yeah.
We're going to give up on the other location.
Well, and then part of it too is like later on they come across like a dead mouse and stuff too. And so they're like, oh, is this part of witchcraft? Is this part of the Blair Witch?
Okie dokie. So I just wanted to point out that Josh does knock over one of the rocks.
He does.
And so
then
let's put it back just to be safe.
You never know what's going to piss off an unknown witch.
Oh my God. I'm getting so nervous.
See, you never know.
We should note that Celeste is by herself. She is about 50 feet away, but
And this interview is found footage.
it's found audio.
So on their second night, they hear noises and they decide to investigate. They decide to go out and record. First of all,
Yeah,
no.
That'd be me.
White people gonna white people.
Jesus.
Let's go towards it. We have no
Let's go
idea.
towards the
and we
danger.
Oh,
for no money or gold. There's no gold. Like maybe if there's like a Lamborghini or something at the end of it, I might consider it. But like this is just for shits and gigs at this point. So I don't. It's not worth it to me.
when Celeste and I went and did our trail hiking, like I only ever heard noises. Like there was no stop of noises happening in the middle of the night. I was not going out there. I was I know I'm not technically safe in the confines of this very thin tent, but at least if I don't see them, they don't see me.
Yeah. It gives like a false sense of security, a tent.
It does, truly. It's like when you're sleeping at night and even though if somebody were to come into your house and murder you, they would still do it. But I feel more comfortable having a blanket over myself. So I feel covered.
This is true. The one time I did go camping, it was with me and my friend, and she had like a 90-pound lab. And we had him sleep outside the tent. So he was really good. He just stayed and he would like, usually it was people going past our campsite. He would like growl at them and stuff. So I think that's the only way I would feel like relatively safe. So at least the bear's about to get you and you could maybe like put a bra on. I don't know, but at least you'll know.
At least pretend like you're ready to go.
Yeah.
This is what it feels like to be a woman at all times.
Right? In case any guy was
They
wondering.
can't find me without a bra and I need to do my eyebrows. They won't know who I am.
If I have pants on and I'm not dancing around in my underwear, this is not a horror movie.
Oh my goodness. So the next morning, they just convince themselves that it's just someone trying to mess with them, even though they are deep in the woods right now.
And very lost.
Yeah, very lost, very deep in the woods. Mike doesn't want anything to do with it. The other two are like, what's this? Could it be this? He's like, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to know about it. He's like, I'm done. I want to get that out of here.
Well, and to be fair, he doesn't actually know Heather and Josh. Like, he's just a person who's in like their same program or something like that.
I thought he was Josh's friend.
No, they just happen to like meet each other really. And so because Heather's like, do you even really know this guy? And he's like, not really, but he can do sound.
Oh my goodness. Oh, well, I missed that part.
That's okay.
Oh, and movie fun fact. I don't know where I was going to put this in.
Oh, do it.
But I'm going to forget. The actress, she was an improv actor, mostly doing comedy. And she got this role and she brought a really big knife with her because all her friends and family were like, this is going to be a snuff film. Like, you're going into the woods with all these guys you don't know. Like, this is going to be a snuff film. If you don't know what a snuff film is, it's where they like kill a body on camera and then they sell the video. So she was walking into that like not really sure because she also didn't know any of them from the jump. So imagine like, yeah, we're filming this real scary movie. Like you being the only female and like 10 dudes, like we're all just going to go camp in the woods. It'll be great. So good for her for bringing the knife. But I read that and I was like, oh, okay. So you really were scared, like down.
Well, and then so the other thing about this movie is like they had a pretty much a guidance of a script, but they didn't really know what was happening.
It was like the whole thing was pretty much improv.
Yeah. And then like I think we'll get to it later, but there's a certain scene where like they didn't know something was happening, so all of their reactions are real.
Oh,
so
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that was my ADHD sidebar. Sorry.
Oh no, you're
It's
good.
good. We do a lot of sidebars.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed that yet, but
Okay, I'm all sidebar.
We invite all the
all
sidebars.
sidebars. This is why we invited you.
Yes.
Hell yeah, okay. This is good for my ADHD. I
Yeah.
like-
That's why we have like some semblance of notes so we can keep track.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh. So they're trying to head back to the car. It's raining, and the boys aren't recognizing any part of the woods that Heather is leading them through. And she's still trying to convince them that they're headed in the right direction. So at this point, they're supposed to be at the car already, but it's getting dark. Heather wants to set up camp because she doesn't think that they're going to make it back in time by sundown. And the boys just start flipping the freak out. They're concerned about returning the camera equipment back in time and getting back to work. He's like, dude, I'm supposed to be at work at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Yeah. Mike, I think Josh was the one that said he had to be at work at 9 a.m.
No,
tomorrow.
that's Mike.
I confused the two. Okay.
Josh was the one talking about his girlfriend too.
Yeah.
It's like, my girlfriend's gonna come looking for me.
Yeah. He's like, if like we're not back by tomorrow night or something like that, people are going to notice and they're going to come out looking for us. So in the middle
That's
of the
the hope,
night,
at least.
that's the hope. Oh gosh, right? That is the hope.
That's why I turn on, what's it called? The Google thing where people can track your location. Like I have certain people who are tracking my location at all
Okay.
times because I can't trust that somebody will actually come looking for me if I don't show up.
That's terrible.
I'll go.
I
Looking
know.
For you.
We'll go looking for you, Kenzie.
Okay. I'll see you haven't laughed at my Instagram story. You're the
Yeah.
one of 4 fans. It's like, hey, a quarter of my fans went missing. Where are they?
Yeah, she's like,
That's a big
Kenzie hasn't
chunk.
reacted recently. I should check in on her.
She okay?
I do a lot of running outside and
Oh my
arguably
gosh.
in the middle of the night. So
I know. It concerns me all the time.
Your
I'm
life
like,
is
what
a
the
horror
heck?
movie. No wonder she's watching this. She's like, this
And
is just me taking out the trash. I
Yeah.
don't know why this is so scary.
I tell her she needs to get a dog. So at least she'll
do
have
need
a dog.
I want
to
a
go
dog.
running at night. Oh my. Okay. I guess we'll just continue being concerned for your safety then, Kenzie.
Okay. I'll have you follow me and keep track of my location too. So if you don't
Yes.
hear from me and if we miss like a recording day and you're just like, where the fuck did Kinsey go? Then you can be like, okay, she's track my location, I think is what it's called or something like that. You can be like, okay, so she hasn't moved in the last 23 hours.
Yes.
Something's wrong.
Totally down.
Anyway, it's getting a little too
Right?
spooky in
I
here.
know, right?
Kati,
I'm starting to get
I'm
chills
scared.
here.
Now I gotta like
It's getting too
I
real.
gotta send daily DMs just to be like, type C to confirm you're alive. Well, I don't need anything else.
We need a safe
Yeah.
word. We need a safe word to
right?
text each
Yeah,
other.
I know. I always think of chimichanga from How I Met Your Mother.
Okay, chimichanga is it. Yeah, if I
Okay.
call you and you're being held hostage, just talk about chimichanga.
I'm really
I'll be
craving chimichangas.
Do you remember the last time that we had chimichangas? I don't either.
Oh my. Okay. All right. So it's in the middle of the night. They hear the same noises. At one point, Heather checks her watch and realizes that it is 3 a.m. So it is the witch's hour. Again, they try investigating to see what the noises are because that's just what they do, but they can't tell where it's coming from. They're like, it's happening all around us. Nothing happens. They go back to bed.
How? We'll never know.
Right? How these people
I
are
couldn't sleep
functioning.
that first night.
Yeah.
The only night that we were out.
And that's
because
with
of all the
nothing
noises.
happening to us.
I know. And I'm not trying to track down a witch.
Was it you couldn't sleep because you were creeped out, or it was just like too freaking loud?
For me,
I
it was
couldn't sleep 'cause I was
uncomfortable
creeped out.
too. Oh, you
okay.
were? Oh,
Yeah. Dude, my anxiety is generally through the roof, and it's part of the reason why I have insomnia in the first place.
why did we
So-
think we could do that then? why
Because
were we
it's
like,
fun
let's
and-
go on a two-night hiking trip?
That's awful.
I have this thing. So I have this like, I don't know. I have this internal like story that if I let my anxiety rule my life, I'll never do anything. So I need to constantly like push that boundary and prove to myself that it's okay.
Sometimes the boundary's
Dude,
there
I
for a
do
reason,
stand-up
though.
comedy. I don't risk my life.
I know.
Well, and now,
Like, I'm not gonna die up there.
now
I
I've
just
got
wanna
this
live.
mindset if I do something and I die, like it's fine. I just whatever.
not
I'm
fine.
gonna keep it up.
Giving me heart palpitations.
Cody's like, this is gonna be the last time we ever speak. Sorry.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
I can't deal with all the
It's too
stress you give me.
Too spooky.
Oh my goodness. Oh, yeah. Okay. So they wake up the next morning to find 3 separate piles of rocks, like the ones that they found earlier, all around
So
their
if you
tent.
think about the fact that the 7 different rock piles from before were supposed to represent the 7 different dead children, the 3 rock
It's gonna
piles
be y'all, yeah.
represents them.
I don't know why talking about this movie, like, scares me more than actually watching the movie. Like,
think
I'm getting
kinda
chills
like-
over here. Oh, no. I may have to come join you guys.
Same way. And the thing I've always said is like, I'll see like a horror film, Texas Chainsaw, even though I don't like it. Like, I don't want to see The Exorcist or like,
Don't.
I'm not like a huge religious person, but like, I don't know about that shit. So like, I don't want to mess with it. I don't know if I'm like
No.
talking about it is going to like stick to you.
Yeah.
Like Candyman or
Is this,
something.
like,
So
bad
I think
juju?
that's the vibe I get with Blair Witch. I don't want to be like bringing it up and then it's like, hey, you mentioned me. You want to hang out? Like, I don't know how that works.
It's like saying Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the
I am messing with
mirror.
that.
Yeah.
I did that one time and then never again.
No, never done it. No. Yeah, but I'm also slightly creeped out. So
Yeah, okay, good. I'm glad it's
thankfully
not just
this is
me.
like this is the daytime. If this was like nighttime, I would be so
No.
scared.
I couldn't. I wouldn't be here. So Josh
Next
is
time's
like,
last.
we're obviously not wanted here, so let's get back to the damn car. So they're packing up, and Heather discovers that she does not have the map on her. She's like, I don't have the map. Josh is like, what the fudge? This is so not cool. Did anybody else think that the witch came in and stole their map?
Yeah.
Because I
I
don't.
totally did.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Oh yeah. In my head, I was like, that's the logical thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm
Most logical
if I'm spoiling it, but when the dude was like, I kicked it. It's like, what? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Like,
And I was like,
not
what?
fess up to it. Like,
yeah. And then also, I am also a 90s child, but when the scene where it panned to them looking at the map, I was like, oh my God, that old school map. And
Yeah.
Philip's like, yeah, they didn't have phones. I'm like, no, I fucking get it. I was alive. I remember how it was, but you forget until you see, like, oh shit, you really had to just be like out there and know like north
That's
and east. and south.
crazy.
they
I
did have
never
compass
used
on
a
it,
map. We would do MapQuest and print out like
print it
50
out.
million papers and take that with you.
Yeah.
And then killed a small tree for this.
Yes.
And then you
Just
like
to get places.
You forgot to print the reverse. So then you're like thinking in opposites. Okay, left, right, straight,
Yeah.
and then you're like, fuck, that's one way. What do I do now?
Man, how did we live back then? Like,
Very carefully. People actually knew what was happening around them.
yeah, that makes sense. hmm
People could actually give directions like, you're going to turn east down this way.
Yeah. Oh man,
Can't do it.
wild
I'm
times.
like, everything has to be right, left, or straight.
Can't do roundabouts, no one ways. Oh man. So they decide without a map, they're just going to head in a random direction and hope for the best. They try to be optimistic. Heather says she's like, it's really hard to get lost in America these days. Like, I'm sorry, what? Like,
Well, she was on her Greenpeace shit, like all our natural resources have been used up. And it's like 1999. This wasn't even like global warming wasn't even a thing. Calm down. You were still in the 90s. Life was still good.
I'm
still clean air.
They're like, Heather, shut up. Like, what?
Yeah. We don't even have forests here. Like, what are you walking through right now?
I know.
And
You're
it's like, if you actually
surrounded.
look up the amount of people who die or go missing when they go down like the Appalachian Trail or the PCT or anything like that, like it's astonishing. And that's today. Like, I don't have service in my own house, nonetheless, like to be out in the middle of nowhere.
No, not doing it.
No, thank you. So they cross yet again another stream. And this is where Mike just busts out laughing. Heather asks them, okay, seriously, guys, did you take the map? Because it seems like you're having a little bit too much fun. Mike is still laughing hysterically, and that's when he admits that he kicked the map into the creek because it was useless anyways. Stupidity at its finest. So, of course, naturally, Heather and Josh just totally go off on him.
Well, and I feel like it's only fair because like they both reamed Heather for losing the map, even though Mike
Yeah, he was in on it too.
And threw it away,
Mike was like, really,
He was
Heather,
like-
not cool.
berating her.
Yeah. Oh, Mikey. So they try to go on. They have like a meltdown at one point where all of them are just like stunned in silence and just sitting there like, what the heck is the plan going on? And then we get a scene of Mike just shouting that he found some voodoo shit. And they find these totems hanging all over the place. And he's like, this is no redneck. No redneck is this creative.
Oh my god!
Which have you seen Pinterest? Someone that was like modern farmhouse taxidermied animals that hold your utensils. Like,
They got to be creative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Heather over here is continuing to record, but the guys are like, dude, stop. I want to get the F out of here. They have to camp again, and they decide not to light a fire. They're thinking, the first night we didn't light a fire and nothing happened, but then when we lit one on the second and third night, that's when shit started happening. So that was their thought process. That didn't work because they all wake up and hear children's voices in the distance. They start freaking out and their tent starts shaking, and they just book it out of there. Heather's over here screaming, what the fuck is that? Like, they're freaking the F out. She's like, is that a baby? All that fun stuff.
This is the part where the crew, like somebody dressed up like all in white and stuff like that off camera.
Ew.
And so this is where they didn't know that they were going to do that.
Yeah.
And so when they booked it out of there and Heather's like, what the fuck is that? That was an actual like reaction.
I would be so mad. Like, are you kidding? Like, I'm an actor. You hired me to act. I can act. You can tell me about it. You don't gotta be doing all this now.
Right. That should be an improv actor. Like, it's a
the whole
different
point.
sex thing.
Yeah, come on now.
So it's in the trivia, but we'll go ahead and point out now. So apparently each of the three leads were required to sign a release granting the production permission to, in quotes, mess with their head. And so that was used as an example, the late night tent attack. Neither of the actors knew it was coming. So the terror, confusion, and fight or flight response was genuine.
Oh,
So it's cruel, but
I'm not sure if I could sign up for that. It very much is. What's the guy who I just said?
M. Night Shyamalan?
no, the other one. We just like saying it. M. Night.
M. Night.
Night
Kubrick,
Shyamalan.
Stanley
Yeah.
Kubrick.
Like in The Shining, he made the lead actress who played Wendy go through the act scene like 50 times, and that was only one scene. That whole movie, she had to do so many of the same scene over and over again to the point where she was on the brink of like losing her mind.
I bet.
They're like, and that's perfect.
She's gone.
And this was in the 70s, man.
That's crazy. Did you hear, Kenzie, I think it's in Jurassic Park, the scene when they're in the Jeep and the T-Rex is going down on, God, that sounds dirty, going down on the,
It's like, I didn't see that scene.
Very different movie.
I was a kid. Maybe I misunderstood.
That's Jurassic Park the porno. So
Yeah,
that's Jurassic
that's
porno.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
Anyways, that scene where he's like, I'm trying to say it in a not dirty way, smashing
He
into
smashed
the
from the
Jeep.
top of the Jeep down.
And the kids are like down there. Well, apparently there was an issue with the animatronics of it and it fell
Oh,
and it
no.
wasn't supposed to break the window. And that's the scene that we get in the movie. And so that's like them genuinely really freaking out because a giant T-Rex just fell on them.
Oh.
Isn't that craziness?
That sounds more like a happy accident as opposed to somebody maliciously doing
Right,
this
right.
on purpose.
And luckily, the kids weren't right there where the thing fell. I'm sure that was a little heavy. They broke the glass. Like, our bad.
Yeah, that's
Right.
the thing about that glass, though, that always made me laugh is like the glass didn't break. The glass just like broke from the roof of the car, but
Yeah, it
actually
didn't break. It went like to the point where they were like holding it up with like
Yeah.
their hands and feet. So
It's been a while. I haven't seen that one.
It's
Oldie but
probably
goodie.
my all-time favorite movie.
Okay. Jurassic Park?
Yes. Yeah.
It's a great
Okay. I'm not judging. I'm just.
that look on your face.
It did look a little judgy.
That's like
but that's okay.
you don't usually hear that. It's like, what's your favorite movie? Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park is my favorite movie. And then my second favorite movie is The Mummy from, I think, 1999 with Brendan Fraser and
Ooh.
Rachel Weisz.
Those are both great movies, though.
That's too close to Mummy.
Have you seen? There's a bumper sticker where it's just like, ask me about the 1999 movie thriller, The Mummy, featuring Brendan Fraser. And it's,
Yep, I think my third favorite movie might be Beetlejuice, but
okay, that makes sense.
you're like, it's all coming
You're
together.
like, that makes sense. Yeah. Beetlejuice.
Yeah, someone being like, I like Beetlejuice. Okay, someone being like Jurassic Park. You're like, you a 5-year-old boy?
So we're back to, I'm like, where are we? Okay. Tent shaken. They're running out. Their fight or flight kicked in. They're hiding in the literal woods. They turned off the lights and they're just sitting in the dark at this point.
They think that's safer than the tent.
I don't know either. But Heather asks, is that a baby screaming? And the guy's like, shut up. There was no babies. They're like, I don't want to hear it. Shut up. Please stop talking. So they stay outside until sunrise. They head back to the tent. They find all of their crap just like totally like disheveled. Josh finds slime on his water bottle and only his things were thrown around. He's like, what the fudge, dude? Like, why is all of mine crap thrown around? And I think it's because he kicked the rock.
That actually makes sense. I
I'm
didn't
convinced
consider
that's
that.
why. Because
Yeah.
he messed with the pile of rocks. That could not be true, but I'm just...
So do you think if he never touched these rocks that they never would have died? That was like the catalyst that started like, okay, you first, and then I'm gonna get your friends. Like, is that an alternate
I think it was
universe? You know?
because they went into
I don't know.
Period.
I think it's just they went into the woods, but that's how, like, maybe
But-
she chose her first victim.
him first.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
because he decided to be a douche.
Yeah,
It's true.
good. So Heather's still recording, by the way. All this crap is happening, and she's like, I still gotta get it. Still gotta get it, guys. So they're, like, ready to freaking pounce on her. So Josh is just freaking out over the fact that there's some blue jelly shit only on his things.
I would too. In the woods, where do you get blue jelly?
Who knows? So they keep on hiking and they realize that they're just going in circles. They hit up the same exact, what was it? A trunk?
It was a trunk that fell down.
Yeah.
It was
and
a
they're-
log.
Yeah, they're like,
Yeah, it was a
we
log.
walked past that a bunch of times or
Mhm.
whatever. Because I was confused by that too. I was like, they were all like, it's the log. And at first
Yeah.
I was like, oh, cool. They found the original log and now they're going to go back.
Oh,
And Philip's like, no, they're crying. Like, this is not a good
They're
cry.
mad.
This is like a mad cry. But like, I couldn't differentiate for a second there.
yeah. So they have a meltdown because they're lost. They're going in circles. They're arguing with each other over how they could have been walking south all day and ended up in the same exact spot. So Mike decides to be a peacekeeper after he just like fucked up everybody's lives. He's begging everyone to stop fighting and says that he'll take the first watch because once again they have to camp. Josh is antagonizing Heather to the point where she literally breaks down on camera. In the tent, they make peace with one another and they're fantasizing about food. Cheeseburgers, mashed potatoes.
Ice
This all
cream
works.
Sundays, I think.
Yeah.
I think
Pie.
pie.
There's
Yeah.
pie with an
Pie,
ice
yep.
cream scoop on it.
Someone's mom's
So-
recipe. I don't know.
If you were in this similar situation and were starved for several days, what is like the one food item that you would want once you got back to civilization?
Oh man. I would want everything. Like I would make
Celeste is like,
multiple
why do I have to
spots.
choose?
Yeah. I would order maybe a DoorDash or whatever the other delivery services are, multiple places,
Uber Eats.
and just have like a massive feast.
It's like the dinner in Signs where they're like,
A little bit of
we're going to
everything.
go ahead and have waffles and mashed potatoes and a burger and
Chicken
some
teriyaki. Yep.
Yes. And I'm going to have a little bit of everything.
See, then that leads me to my answer. Chicken and waffles, just because you get sweet and salty.
Mhm.
Yep.
And then also, since we are in a rec state, some edibles, because I'm definitely sleeping for like 24 hours straight after this. Like with my dog, right on the floor of my bed, and the door's locked.
Yep.
And I think that would be a good way to come back home.
Yeah. Yours,
But I would not be, once again, I'll reiterate, I'll never be in this situation again because I'm not
I will never
going
put
in the woods.
myself in that situation.
You'll probably find me in the situation.
Yeah.
I think mine would just be like an entire jar of peanut butter.
Oh, I can see that for you.
Yeah.
Well, no, because you bring that when you're hiking. So more peanut butter.
They only brought snacks, and so they had already ran out of food by this point in time.
See,
They
even
weren't
I
planning
know
on
that
spending more than 2 nights there or 1 night. Yeah.
you gotta just bring the giant thing of peanut butter because it's like the most calorically dense.
Right.
You can
Still got
actually
protein,
go.
you got your fats.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking with the marshmallows. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's light, but like, come on now, that's not gonna help you.
It'd probably be fresh fruit, honestly. Like, that's one of the few things that I like crave. And anytime that I'm someplace where I don't get like fresh access to like produce and stuff
Like we were
like that.
camping and
Yeah, like if I'm camping, if I went on vacation, like I want some fresh fruit.
I'd see it.
Yeah.
I know that's super lame. Like,
I
it's
can
not
see
the
it, but yeah.
Celeste judging me. She's like, excuse me?
She says everything. I'm saying chicken and waffle. They're like, I would like some fresh fruit,
I would like fruit and peanut butter, please.
some melon, a melon parfait.
I would like some apples and peanut butter. That's all I
Some
need.
fruitcake.
Oh God.
All the whiskey in the world. So that way I can
You
go
would
to sleep.
need it after that kind of
I-
experience.
yes.
Jesus.
I would need many things after this experience.
I need a therapist. I need.
Got one on lock.
Yep. All right. So the next morning they wake up and Josh is gone. They're screaming and shouting for him. And then they just, Mike and I think at one point Mike's like, let's just pack up. He'll show up after that. He doesn't. And they just go east for the day.
Yep.
At some point they just made the decision just go on without him. And they have to camp again. And so that night they hear what sounds like Josh shouting in agonizing pain, but they can't tell which direction it's coming from. So in the morning, Heather ends up finding a bunch of sticks wrapped up in a piece of Josh's flannel. At first, she's just like, I'm going to put it off to the side. Doesn't look in it. Then she decides to look inside and she finds,
Well, first
was there hair in it too?
Oh,
Yeah, first she
I
chucked
think
it
so,
off to
a
the
little bit,
side.
yeah.
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 And
She
then
threw
maybe
it
some hair into it.
behind the tent and then went up to it afterwards, which I don't know why she decided that.
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah, I didn't get it either. So she decided to look in, found some bloody teeth, maybe some hair wrapped in it. Freaks out, goes and washes her hands, does not tell Mike. Yeah.
She doesn't tell him.
Mhm.
And part of it is like they've been going through the last several days just shouting and screaming at each other because everybody's like super anxious, super nervous,
yeah.
like really upset about the whole situation. Like
They're starving.
cites-
They're basically probably hallucinating at this point.
They got no cigs.
Yeah.
they've got
No
no
cigarette,
cigarette.
no
Yeah, that's right.
cigarettes.
Nobody's got a cigarette. But it's like
Very 90s.
telling Mike wouldn't help the situation at all.
Yeah.
Like it's just
Mhm.
easier not to tell him because it'll just make things worse. Like,
Yeah.
There's
So she never told him, right?
No, she didn't. All right, so nightfall comes again, and we get the iconic scene of Heather talking and crying into the camera, pointed up at her. She shares a message for all of their moms, apologizing for being naive and essentially being the one that got them lost and put in this situation. And she's like, we're going to die out here. So once again, in the middle of the night, they hear a guy shouting that sounds like Josh. So they decide to go find him. And I actually hear Josh is shouting, please follow my voice. And they come up to an old house. And
Don't go
immediately
in. You never
Mike
go
goes in.
to an old
And
house.
Heather's literally begging him. She's like, don't go in there. But he is very adamant about finding Josh. I thought they were friends. But after learning that they're just like acquaintances, I would not put my life in danger for a stranger. That's
Even if you were my friend, like if
I'm
we're
sorry, that
ever in
sounds
this
terrible.
situation,
go on, save yourself. Yeah.
yes, exactly. Go get somebody else to come back with reinforcements.
And my thing is, like, are you going to go, even if he was there, are you going to go save him just so, like, okay, now we're all lost again?
right.
You
Right.
clearly, even if there is no spiritual thing, you're just gonna starve out there like a normal lost hiker.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
you're risking your life for basically no reason at that point.
To die a slower death, basically. But no. So Mike's running up in there. They hear Josh's voice shouting their names now. They run upstairs to find him. There's some children's handprints on the walls. They're basically running all over the place. They're hearing Josh's voice. Mike runs downstairs. So Heather's not with him, but something that you can't see assaults him, causing him to drop his camera. Heather's running, looking for him. She's screaming the whole time. And that's when she finds Mike in the corner, facing the wall. And that was mentioned in one of the interviews with one of the guys about the Old's Tale. That's what they did. I don't know what
He would
exactly
take the
was.
kids.
Yeah.
He'd take the kids in pairs, and he would put one in the corner
Yeah.
because he couldn't stand the eyes watching him, and he would kill the other kid and then kill the kid that was in the corner. But the one thing that I did notice is so Mike had a camera, right? When he went down there, and then the camera got knocked and then it fell. And then as Heather was coming down the stairs, the camera, you're looking at that angle now. So
Right.
whatever the being was or whatever, like picked up the camera
See, that's
and
what I
is
thought
then
too.
looking at Heather, because how else would the camera have picked up from the floor to where you actually see Heather coming onto screen? So then I'm like, is this like a spooky ghost? But he's still like, oh, I gotta get this. Gotta get this gotta get this footage.
Gotta get the content.
Yeah, so I was like, that's what I didn't understand. Like, if you're this mythical beast or like a ghost or whatever, like, wouldn't you just wait for the other person and mark them? But you gotta pick up the camcorder too? I don't know. Or there's like a deeper meaning.
If
or
I
there,
was
I
a
don't know.
ghost
Yeah.
or some kind of endless, like, non-dying being, I would need to entertain myself somehow. So picking up the camera and scaring the shit out of them,
Oh my
much like
God.
Celeste is now.
There's a bird on the window seat. I heard knocking. It was like going, I'm like, oh my God. But it's a bird.
Celeste is losing her mind.
Oh my God.
Celeste is every single noise.
I know.
It's just like, what the fuck is that?
That's the thing about these movies that don't have the jump scares and the gore. It's just like normal sounds that you hear
Right.
in your everyday life. So now every like little sound is a witch coming to get me. Right. All right. So Heather finds Mike in the corner facing the wall. She calls out to him, but he does not react. And then the unseen force attacks Heather, causing her camera to fall too. And that's
And
it.
everything falls
The
silent.
end. And that is it. When the cameras fell, I was expecting to like see something in the camera. Like some
Right?
sort of like
Like a little like light or something,
Something.
like apparition.
Yeah.
Like not a
Right.
face, but at least
Yeah.
like a light. Or
I think
something,
that was
you know?
my favorite thing about Paranormal Activity. Like at the end of Paranormal Activity, like Beth, I think is her name, go to the
God.
camera and her face like changes. And
Yeah.
I love it. But yeah, so we
Scare
just
the crap
end
out
on
of
like
me.
nothing.
Yeah, this ends on nothing. But yeah, the end. Yay. And then, so does it pass the Bechdel test? I say yes. She was talking with Mary Brown.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
technically,
Like
that
I
counts.
didn't think that it did at
Mhm.
first, and then after thinking about it back some more, when she's talking to Mary, because Mary does have a name, and
Yeah.
they talk about the Blair Witch, and this is where the Blair Witch is actually a witch, and it's a she, and it's not a man. Like
Mhm.
that's
It
them having a
counts.
conversation, and it counts.
Oh yeah, and they had
Very
other
slim.
interviews with other women too.
Yeah, but they don't have names.
What includes names? Oh,
Mhm.
They have to be named characters,
okay.
and I don't think woman with child counts.
Woman with child. Oh my goodness. Alrighty, so a little trivia about the movie. This film is in the Guinness Book of World Records for top budget box office ratio. So the film cost $60,000 to make and made back $248 million. So that is a ratio of $1 spent for every $10,931 made.
Damn,
That's a lot.
Well, I know. Crazy.
do it, eat it.
So our lead, Heather Donahue, her mother received sympathy cards from people who believed that her daughter was actually dead or missing. So
That's the thing too, is like part of the marketing for this, like leading up to it, they promoted it as if it was a real story. They actually have like missing posters and like it was a whole thing. Like they actually played it like it was real.
that's crazy. And then, so a typical feature film takes anywhere from about 1 to 3 months to actually film. And this movie only took 8 days to shoot. That's also, it's a short movie, but like, that's still crazy.
Yeah, but this movie also takes span over the time of like 4 days. Like a lot of movies, like if you think about, I don't know, The Holiday, for instance, that movie probably took like 4 months to film, but it is over the span of less than a week.
Yeah. A lot of movies are. Like, if you think about what the movie we just did, The Wedding Date, that's like over a long weekend.
Right, exactly.
And that probably took months to make also. All right. And then, so to promote discord between actors, the directors deliberately gave them less food each day of shooting. So they were
That's
hangry
just
AF.
mean.
That's torture. Yep.
That explains like the increased, like just severe tension in this movie and just like how much yelling was going on.
Yeah, I can't even make it through this podcast without eating.
You know?
You want me to be out there doing this in the wilderness and you're taking my food away? No.
I hope they got paid
Absolutely
well.
not.
Like, heavy and you're like having to walk a whole bunch. Like, damn.
I know. Oh my goodness. Those packs looked heavy too. And I'm sure they probably did
Right.
make them heavy. Just to
Yeah.
freaking
They
put
just
strain on them for the realness. Yeah, right?
Got it back in my ear. Shit. Sorry, y'all.
You are
No, you're good.
It's hilarious.
Okay, we got it. We're working.
Whoop, whoop.
We got it.
Alrighty. And then lastly, the 2000 hunting season suffered badly due to this film. The movie was so popular that fans all over the country were hiking into the wilderness to shoot their own Blair Witch style documentaries. What the fudge?
That's on point.
That is just no. Okay.
I vaguely remember being like 9 and with my friends, not even going to the woods because we were not trying to actually die, but just that one scene with the snot and whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I do remember. I think we did that. On the camera.
Can you imagine if this had come out in today's world in the TikTok era? Like,
No.
people would be filming everything.
Oh my God. Yeah, they already are.
Right.
But like, yeah, this would be, people would be like faking their own deaths, like trying to get that like viralness and just be like, surprise, I wasn't really dead, but go see my new movie out in theaters.
Read my new biography.
Yeah.
People are wild. They'll do anything for views or to go viral.
We do the same thing. Speaking of which, if you want to, go ahead and rate, review, and pass us off to another friend of yours.
Right? So as a result of everybody going into the wilderness to make their own documentaries, they kept most of the wildlife scared away from hunting areas. So
Poor animals.
I know. So I've noticed we don't typically see movies that are in this like style anymore. Probably due to the fact that everybody has cameras now. So there is a new like filming style or technique called screen life. And so it's movies that are just based from the point of view of everybody's camera. So like your phone, your tablet, like the security cameras that people have, like the Ring doorbells, things like that. So there's quite a few of those, like, and it's still popular for like horror movies and thrillers. So like one came out this year called Missing, and the entire movie.
Oh
is-
yeah, that's what I was gonna. I didn't see that, but I was gonna bring it up. But I guess it's the same exactly what you're talking about, where it's like a whole movie and it's just like FaceTime video, or it was like Skype video or Zoom.
Exactly.
Or whatever.
Yeah. So I
My
want to
cousin
watch it.
and I
It
were
looks
just
good.
talking about that actually, like this whole style of filming, because we were talking about like Unfriend and stuff like that too.
Yeah, I saw that too, and it's all over like a Skype video, like a Skype meeting chat, the whole movie. So that's where technology has brought
Gotta
us.
stick with the times, man.
Yep, gotta stay modern and relevant.
Just gotta do a TikTok dance every time you do a horror film now.
I think I saw a horror movie that was called Dash Cams. And so it looks like the entire, I didn't like click on it to read about it, but it looks like the entire movie is just based off of someone's dash cam, which would be so
oh my
wild.
God, was it about the? Was it about the Uber driver guy?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't read the book.
There was.
Really need to look into that.
It was actually a really good.
Yeah.
I'll Google it when I get home and I'll send it to you. But it's either on like Hulu or something. It's this one actor where he's like a Uber driver, but he's trying to go like viral and be like an influencer. So all his rides he records, but he's also like a serial killer because he wants to get famous too. So it was like a really weird angle because it's like from all the TikTok graphics and stuff in the video, and the cutaways are very much like a TikTok video or something, but pretty cool, pretty good for a horror movie. Even like I'm not a big horror buff. Shout out whatever that movie's called. We'll find it.
Sorry. Wow. That's crazy. Alrighty. So should we go ahead and get into the caffeine scale?
Let's do it.
Do you want to go ahead and explain to Kati?
Yeah. So our caffeine scale.
So we don't confuse it.
No, you're good. So the caffeine scale, on a scale of 1 to 5 espresso shots, how stimulated did this movie keep us? So 1, we're falling asleep, and 5, we're absolutely buzzing. So Kati, I know that you tried to give a 10 out of 10 earlier, but you want to go 1 out of 5.
Okay, I'm going to say the same logic I said. So up until the last 5 minutes, I would say 5 out of 5 because I don't know if there's going to be a jump scare. You're so used to a jump scare. I think that's what makes it so scary is I'm expecting something to pop out, all that jazz. And then the last 5 minutes definitely brought it down because I'm like, what's going on here? And it just ended like just like that. So I'd say probably like a 4 out of 5, honestly. 4 out of 5 for me.
For me, I think I actually rate this at like a 2.
Yeah.
I had
Not scary enough.
no, I had a very different reaction to this movie than both of y'all. Like, I laughed through so much of this movie, and then I was just slightly irritated because I could hardly hear anything.
That too. Yeah.
Like,
subtitles for sure.
Subtitles,
Yeah.
but it was even funnier. I don't think the subtitles helped, honestly, because like every time they would say like, what the fuck is that? Or like, would you shut the fuck up and stuff like that? Like the subtitles actually changed
I did see that. Yeah.
the language.
Yeah.
So like they'd say, oh fuck. And then it would just say, oh boy.
Yeah.
So it was just so funny. And yeah, I think just the fact that, and it could just be looking at it through a lens of 2023 now. Watching scary movies has really changed from 1999 to now. And if I had seen it when it first came out in 1999 and with all the marketing and the lead up to it, it'd definitely be terrifying. But
I mean, a movie theater.
exactly.
Like that experience would totally change it too.
And especially since like this reminds me so much of like watching those ghost shows, which I love to watch. And but I feel like there was even less in this than there are in the ghost shows today. Mostly because like I could barely hear anything from this film. Like anytime that they would say like they heard stuff in the background in the woods, like I couldn't hear any of it. So I still think it's fun. I think it's hilarious. I did hate the screaming at the end, like all of the screaming. Like for the last probably 10 minutes, it was just, Mike, Josh, like the entire time. So that was obnoxious, but I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, because I was like, the screaming. I was like, is she getting murdered or is she
That's what I
screaming
thought at
for
first
him?
too. I'm like,
Yeah,
was
like
she
you know,
dying?
Mike, like help, or
Yeah.
is it Mike help, or is it like Mike, where are you?
Right.
So it was just a little pointless.
Yeah. Well, for me, I agree with you, Kati. I think it's a 4. But again, I feel like this movie would have just like been so much more terrifying in a movie theater. Because then you would have been able to hear like everything that was going on in the woods. Because the first time I saw it, like just for the notes purposes, I didn't have the subtitles on. And so I couldn't hear like what was going on in the woods. So that did like alleviate some of the scariness of it. But then the second time I turned up the volume, I turned on the captions. But also what like I find terrifying about these movies is they leave so much up to your imagination.
Right.
And so my imagination just took it and went wild. So I did have to sleep with the lights on.
Oh my.
One night after I watched it each time. So last night I did, and then the night that I watched it.
I actually, the second time that I watched this, I fell asleep.
Oh no. That's even
Like I
more
said-
scarier because sometimes like when you're watching something, whatever you're watching will seep into your dreams. Does that not
Yeah.
happen to you?
Oh yeah, no.
Oh no.
It didn't
Ooh.
happen with this movie,
Oh good.
but it has happened with other movies before. But yeah, so very different reaction,
Yeah, we did.
personally.
Yeah, you watch this to like prepare for bed.
Yeah.
Basically, like
Basically.
some nice soothing.
I need a little life,
ASMR.
a little laugh. Nice.
I think really what I woke up to Heather screaming, and
That'll do it. Yeah.
I was just annoyed.
like not scared.
I wasn't
just
scared.
annoyed.
I was just
You're
annoyed.
like, shut up, Heather.
Good lord.
Just die already.
I know,
Shit. Attention whore. Oh my god.
Oh gosh.
So,
We get it. You're dying.
Can you do it
do
quietly?
we have any
please?
other last minute thoughts on this movie?
You know what? My only thing is I wish the sequel was as well rated as the original. So I would have some kind of motivation to like find the courage to go see it, but I'm not going to scare myself just to watch a shitty movie. So I'm going to leave it at
Yeah.
the original. It is what it is. Will I ever watch it again? No. Will I say it's the worst movie in the world? No, but I'm still not going to watch it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
But great experience. I'll sleep tonight.
She gets this. She's like, maybe. I may never sleep again, but
Yeah.
who knows?
At least I'll have all this coffee.
Yes.
Yep.
Just keep
Yep.
you awake.
It will. Yeah. I think it's
How
a
about you,
must see. Everyone, if
Mhm.
you haven't seen it, I feel like it's a
You gotta see
movie
it at
you
least
should
once,
see at
yeah.
least once. Yeah. I think I didn't look too much into the sequel, but I think it follows a story. It said something about it's Heather's brother or something, and he goes
Well,
into
it can't
the
be
woods
Heather. So.
and meets like
to find her.
the same
Okay.
fate, maybe something like that. Yeah.
So they literally just made the same movie with a
I
different.
don't
person.
know if it's the same exactly. Who knows?
was one less woman.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh no, there was women. There were women
Oh.
in it. Yeah, because I clicked on it for like a
Oh.
brief moment.
You know what they did?
Yeah.
Is they did a gender swap. They only
Yeah.
had one dude and
One
two
dude. Yeah. Which show is it? Oh my gosh, I can't think of it. But the guy, he's like well known. He's a well known actor who's in the second one.
Oh.
Burn Notice. I think that's it.
Okay.
Genevieve Butch. Burn Notice. The main guy in it. He's
Yeah,
the lead
yeah,
in
yeah.
the sequel. So
Interesting.
yeah, I know.
Well, we're planning to watch it later, so I'll let you know.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Have fun.
Oh damn!
It should be a good time.
You can. I'll be like
let
whatever
you
that
know.
show is. You watch it and then you
Yeah.
just tell me all about it.
I will.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll give you.
I want to know. I'm curious.
overview.
Yeah. Give us like some
Curious.
highlights.
Even if I don't want to go,
if
I
there
want to
are
get
any.
invited.
Yeah.
If I don't want to watch it, I still want to. I still want to know what happened.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Kati.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. Thank you for having me and for letting me rant about this and that. And
Fun.
it was a fun time.
Yeah, thank you so
And these
much.
pumpkin spice marmalade sticks that I guess are mine now. 'cause
Yes,
I
they are.
lost
By all means,
half the
have
box. I don't know where the cover is.
it. Eat it. It's on the bottom.
Oh, well, look at that.
You're hilarious.
Kenzie's just solving riddles.
It's what I do. Do you want to go ahead and shamelessly plug yourself again?
Yeah, shameless plug. Instagram, Squatty Kati, SQUATYKATI. Follow me for fun videos and see where I'm performing next.
Sounds good.
And don't forget to always watch Caffeinated Flicks every single episode. Always. And never be late.
Never be late. We come out on Tuesdays.
Yeah, Tuesdays at
midnight.
midnight.
We drop.
A spooky hour.
Yeah.
It's the best time to watch
You know what?
this.
We really should start dropping this at 3 a.m.
Because how scary would it be? I don't know how Spotify notifications work, but if you're like scared and you're like just up at 3 a.m. and then you get
Right.
like a drop down notification,
Ding.
like ooh,
Yep. That would
spooky.
scare
I
the
was
crap
just
out of
thinking
me.
about this
I
movie.
know.
Any last words from you, Celeste?
Nope. I think I'm golden.
Sweet. All right.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Caffeinated Flicks. We're a self-published podcast produced and edited by Kenzie.
We'd love to hear from you. Let us know what films you'd like us to cover, what we can do better, or just say hi.
If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can follow us on Instagram at Caffeinated Flicks Pod or email us at caffeinatedflicks@gmail.com. We'll catch you on the flick side.
I know. Yeah, let's do it. So, Kati, since you are a guest, would you like to do the 10 out of 10 rating?
Okay, sure. So I'll give this like a disclaimer. So the movie, up until maybe the last like 10 minutes, I would have said like an 8 out of 10, because when I don't like watching horror. I do like watching like psychological thrillers that like really like creeps you out without being gory. And up until that point, that's really what it was. But considering the ending, I give it a 5 out of 10. So it really got demoted just because it's like nothing was really wrapped up. And I guess it was, but it felt like it was just thrown together. Like it could have been done so much better. Like you know that the voices are fake, that it's just like luring you into the witch house or whatever.
Right.
And they could have explained where these voices came from or what. You're just left with so many questions. So 5 out of 10. I felt disrespected.
We actually have a 10 out of 10 for you to read.
Sorry.
What do you mean?
Right here on the screen.
Oh, it's supposed to be a 10 out of 10?
Yes.
Oh,
So
shit.
you're gonna pick
It's
10 out of 10.
Never mind.
One out of
Yeah, 10 out of 10. One and only.